Hey guys, we're here for a new episode of the show that has yet to be named. I'm here with JohnnyDonuts 777, Puttyman Gamer Potheads, Caps. I almost forgot your name. Well, he's like on an angle. I don't know why I did it in that order.
Over there.
They'll all put their stuff in the thing
Sure
description. This is 90s action movies top 5. And well, you've seen the rest of the series so far if you've made it here, so we're just gonna jump into this. And clockwise for me, Putty's gonna go first.
Okay, I have a cap. Surprise! I actually forgot I made this list for so long. Anyway, number 5, I got Rumble in the Bronx and Con Air.
Who's next?
You. It's you.
Okay, I don't know.
The video.
The display is different. Could be different from yours. I wasn't sure.
That's why I moved mine.
Yours is the same as mine?
I don't know.
I rearranged my tiles.
I did too.
Okay, so I'll go next, I guess. I caps this one because this was difficult. I got number 5, Speed and Die Hard 2.
Die Hard 2, a movie that I don't like. Okay, next guy.
Mine. So a triple is a putty, right? So I puttied mine.
A putty is a whole franchise.
Yeah, it's a whole franchise. Yeah.
Well,
he even was like, "No, you're wrong."
Mine's is a triple caps then because I have TMNT, Out for Justice, and Total Recall.
Wow. Okay, we'll call that a Campo. If you got 3, because I got a 3 here. Okay, so I mean, I wasn't gonna do this, but since it seems to be going in this direction, I'm just gonna add it back in. I uncapsed my 5th pick, but I'm putting it back. I have Last Action Hero and Fifth Element. Oh, Putty.
Oh, it's me. Sorry.
Good morning.
I was wondering who it was. Okay, anyway. My number 4 is caps as well. It is the Boondock Saints and the Fifth Element.
Mine is not capsed. I debated on this one. I wasn't really sure if we can call this an action movie, but the hell with it. I went with it anyway. Heat.
I mean, it's on every single action movie list, though I don't myself consider it an action movie. But it's fair. It's allowed.
My number 4 is Capsed again, and these are definitely action movies. It's tied between Demolition Man and Starship Troopers.
Well, everyone has good. The 90s is not fair. And Putty was over here talking about the 2000s was packed full of movies. Like, holy crap. All right, my number 4 is Campo. I have all of Jackie Chan's entire thing. So the Rumble in the Bronx, Who Am I, and Operation Condor.
Okay, so next 2 are not caps, so there you go. Number 3 for me is Blade.
My number 3 is Fugitive.
My number 3 is The Fifth Element.
Okay, my number 3 is caps, The Matrix and True Lies. Like everyone is just kind of happy with this list.
Yeah, this is good, and it's different, but some similarities. I like it. This is good. Right.
Number 2 for me is The Crow.
Oh, I forgot about
that's
that
a deep.
one.
That's a deep one.
Ooh,
I like it.
I forgot about that one.
My number 2 is TMNT.
My number 2 is The Matrix.
My number 2 is Hard Boiled.
Ooh, so my number 1? My number 1, caps. Sorry, I couldn't choose between 2 because I love them both. Terminator 2 Judgment Day and TMNT.
My number 1 is Matrix.
My number 1 is T2.
My number 1 is T2, the greatest action movie ever made.
But I couldn't leave out TMT. I love Ninja Turtles so much. I've got it memorized. I had to put it with their Judgment Day. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Okay, I'm not going to complain about anybody's list right now. Except that Caps didn't have Terminator at number 1, but you know.
We can talk about that.
Okay.
Was it even on your list?
It's not on my list.
That's a horrible person.
Should we go through our list?
Okay, so
wait. Okay, go.
Okay. Thank you. The reason why Terminator 2 was not on my list is, to me, it's a great movie, but it's the start of some of the goofiness that they introduced in the franchise. And I just find it, I'm having a hard time getting over that. It's not a knock on the franchise. It's just or the movie, but it's just I don't know. It's just I get it, but for me, I can't look past it, and that's the difference as to why I prefer the first one over the second one. It's a good movie. It's just I don't have it on my list.
I'm actually going to jump in because I agree with Cap on that, but at the same time, the reason why I put this at number one is because the first movie I actually consider more of a thriller type horror movie.
It's definitely a horror movie.
Yeah, and then when you go to Terminator 2, that's when you get the action and a little bit of trickle of the comedy you put in there, but more of the action. It really set the standard when it came to action films from that point on and how they were in theaters, because there was always a systematic way where everything had to be more down to earth. But I feel like Terminator 2 was the ones like we could, because even though we had aliens and all those kind of movies, I feel like Terminator 2 is like we can make something that is not realistic, still an action movie, and go outside what the norm is. And so that's the reason why I had to put up a list, because honestly, if it wasn't for how great that movie was, Ninja Turtles would took tough spot no matter what, just because it's my 90s. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're
so,
saying. Well, I knew
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I understand where you're coming from, but I will compare this to Nightmare on Elm Street in the sense that the first one has a basic storyline and thriller. That's the story. It's straightforward. To me, that's what the antithesis of the story is. When you go to Nightmare on Elm Street 2, 3, 4, 5, you start seeing another side of Freddy Krueger. T2, T3, you start seeing a different side of the Terminator, and it just starts going in a different direction. It's fine. It just moves too far away from what the original story is. It's a good story, but it's just
that comparison doesn't work for me. I would say it's a lot more like Alien and Aliens, where the first one is a super dark movie and the second one is just as dark, except it has like a more different action and a different element.
Well, the first one was a horror.
The reason that James Cameron made both, remember that?
Yeah.
So the first one and the second one and Aliens. The first one would have had comedy in it if he wasn't trying to make a horror movie, but he was.
Yes.
That's why, or else it would have had that comedy in it.
I don't think I would have a big problem with it if it started out that way.
But I
guess.
But in terms of just action, it's a way better action movie than the first one.
Right, but I want to say this, though. You could kind of tell that's always what he wanted, but he had limitations. Keep this in mind. The original Terminator movie does have the emphasis on they wanted action to be in it, but because they couldn't do the Terminator the way they wanted to, it went for more of a thriller horror. You could tell based on that first movie as well, they wanted to put action elements in, but it was a little too hard that time. When Terminator 2 came out, when Terminator 2 came out, money came in and special effects. Think about it. It's also revolutionary because of the special effects of the I can't think of the other one, the
P1000 Robert Patrick's.
Yeah. And so my point to the whole thing is so it's not like he didn't want that, and I always knew and felt like the first one was wanting that. So when Terminator 2 came out, you could see it. Now I will agree though, Caps. After Terminator 2, I feel like what Terminator 2 did was very, very great. But then what ended up happening was because the comedy was so well in that one, that they went that route more with the later ones.
Well,
and
you also
with the action. I feel like the balance changed.
Well, for T2 was the high watermark for the franchise. Everything after that was downhill. Okay, T2 was the high point, and nothing could compare to that movie. But the thing about that movie, it was also Arnold at the time, too. He didn't want to play the villain. He was too much of a bankable Hollywood star to play the villain anymore. So they had to make him as the good guy. So to bring the Terminator in as a humanized character, that's what changed the franchise. I think that's Caps is nodding. So I think I hit the nail on the head with that.
This is the thing, too. It's also the benchmark for action movies, period, forever.
And effects. At the time, effects, too.
It still holds up. If you get first of all, don't buy the new one when it comes out because it's not fully upgraded to 4K. It's a lie. But the graphics still hold up in it. And every movie he's done has always been a setup for what can I do for another movie. Terminator 1 was let me see what I could do with the stuff that I'm have at hand to see when I have the technology, what can I do later? Like Avatar was, let me see what I could do now, so when the technology actually exists, what can I do with it then?
Yeah. Well, I would say even The Abyss was part of that as well.
Exactly.
Because we all didn't mention that one, which was a really good film too.
Well, if I can also mention this too, we also have to put in perspective how Arnold was put out there, because you remember, this wasn't his first rodeo when it comes to like a horror type action movie. Think about Predator. You know what I mean? That had those same elements that I feel Terminator had, even though Terminator 2 had like if you look at Predator, it's kind of like a combination of what the first Terminator and the second Terminator 2 is, to where that has the action and the horror element to really, like who's in the dark, where is he, that kind of thing. And see, that's where I think the whole situation kind of branched off, is even Arnold said, I could be a bankable hero. Look at what I've already done. Don't change that. So that Cameron was like, yeah, you're right. And they made something so special that once they went away from the horror element. My thing is I felt like what they should have done is, that was a great movie. They could have kept with the action, but maybe bring more back about the horror. Like have the T-1000s not going after some strong character, but go after people that are way more innocent. So we have those.
Well, he did.
Deaths.
He kills John Connor's adopted family. He kills the family dog, for crying out loud.
But I'm talking about Terminator 3 as they went into Terminator
3. I think what Terminator 3 lost was the magic of the cast that worked so well together. You had what's the kid's name now? The weird kid, Furlong. You had Eddie Furlong, Linda Hamilton, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Robert. Just the cast, that was something magical right there.
I agree.
And you lost that all when the only returning character for T3 was Arnold, and you recast John Connor again.
And they did it by choice. They chose not to use Edward Furlong. They screwed over contract talks with Linda Hamilton, which ended up with her being like, no, I don't want to come back. And then
you bring in Claire Danes, nothing against
James
Claire
Cameron
Danes, didn't work.
James Cameron didn't want to come back. He chose to be like, no, I got other things to do. And you know what? It is what it is. You can't compare the first two Terminators to anything else after, because the main, like, the head writer, the guy who the whole idea came from his head, is like, I'm not part of this anymore. So you're just, at this point, you're just milking a franchise.
But
just like Freddy, just like all that stuff.
But what I want to bring in is the reason why I agree with Cap, and at the same time what JD just said is also crucial. Here's my thing. Think about this. In the first Terminator, when you had that factory scene and you had Linda Hamilton running from the Terminator and it was crawling through the press and all that kind of stuff, those are scary elements that made Terminator so great. So when Terminator 2 came out, they added that with killing of innocent people, but there wasn't that whole, like, the crawling mechanical through that scary effect. If they were to go back with Terminator 3, now I'm going on with 3, and say, okay, we can have action elements because we know that's what love about Terminator 2, but also have scenes where some innocent bystander is being chased by the Terminator as it's all scarred up and has more of a monster appeal to it. I feel like the franchise could have kept going because they would have had part 1 and part 2's feel, because you could go back to the action but still have the horror element. But they totally dropped the horror element altogether after 2.
The thing is, said T2 was rated R, T3 was PG-13.
Exactly, that's my whole point. They went away from the scary element and went straight to action, and that's where I agree with Cap, where they went away. And the thing is, T2 had a little bit of both. I feel it had a little bit of horror, a little bit of action, but more.
I mean, that scene in the institution where he's prying the elevator doors or when he's chasing the cop car with with his hooks, like, those were horror elements when he's being
there's a lot.
He's chased, yeah.
But see, you're also looking at two Terminators fighting each other. You're not going against a human, even though they were going after Connor.
You can see the comedy that's added in because, like, they were like, you need something comedic, or Arnold was like, I want to do this. Like the beginning, the opening scene, like stuff like that. The stuff with the kid, he's a kid. If you're going to have a kid in a movie, kid's not going to be serious. That's just a kid. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that kind of comedy is adapted well. It's the other stuff where Arnold was like, let me do this. It's funny. Or
Well,
like,
Yeah, it's like the scene in T3 where he's wearing like the star
Yeah,
sunglasses
exactly.
talk to the hand, right? Like
Yeah,
that didn't work.
But that's my whole point. See, the thing is and this is why I said the human element. When you put yourself in, when you watch a horror movie, the one great thing is you feel for that human because they're defenseless, and it kind of puts you in their shoes because you can't fight a demon or a monster. You're human. When you put robot against robot, you now take that element of fear out of there to where you're not the human. And that's why I'm saying I agree with Cass, because the thing is, in the first movie, he was the only robot. When you went to the later movies, it's always been, a robot versus a robot. It's been like that since T2. And T2 did it great because we already had that robot and he now is helpful. But we had a kid that was involved. When you start bringing Terminators to help the human, you now take that element of fear out of there to where it's just an action film. If you take another Terminator out and bring back the element of one Terminator going after a bunch of humans like Jason, Freddy, or those, then you're bringing back the horror element that T2 lost out of it. And
agreed.
that's why I'm agreeing with Cap. And that's why I said that's where they went wrong, is they didn't go back to that element.
I'm just gonna let Puttyman do my arguments for me.
Yeah, I'm also gonna
Welcome to
allow
T2 talk.
But it's still, that's why I said that's why I don't agree with you, Cap, because it's a good action film.
But I'm gonna allow
by
you
far.
to agree with Caps because nothing of what you just said is anything that was in Caps' argument at all.
But I'm saying I agree that
No, but he is bringing up some valid points.
I think that it's never been more horrifying than the T-1000. There's nothing in Terminator 1 even remotely as scary as the T-1000. Robert Patrick should have got an Oscar nomination for that role. He should have won an Oscar for that role.
Yeah,
but let me ask you this:
if
you were a robot with a robot skeleton that was the Terminator, would you be as afraid of it as you are?
Yes, especially when he's not afraid of it, but he knows that he can't beat it.
Right, but see, we can't
look
put
at that
ourselves in that
suspenseful scene when they break into that guy's house, the one from Cyberdyne, Miles Dyson, right? When they break into his house, that look of fear on his face.
Yeah, that was good.
Like that was horror. That was suspense.
But
and they could have used more.
Okay, I agree. Yeah. I understand what Caps is saying, but in my opinion, there's not as much comedy as it makes it seem like he's saying. But I agree. He likes the dark elements. The other one, Putty thinks less robots is good. You think something else. No more Terminator.
No more Terminator. Done with the T2
It's a good movie. Just watch it.
No, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. I just didn't understand how they were able to build a T-1000.
I mean,
that's liquid metal. Takes shape of a.
It's a Mali-Pali alloy.
I just
where the microchip circuits
with technology. With technology, you were able to build a skeleton, like a robotic skeleton. A machine. Yes, liquid metal is just like I don't know. It's literally crazy. But I will give you this. Like it's a great movie. I am not disputing the fact that it's a really good movie. It's just not on my list.
It's also the best action movie ever made. But I think we all had Terminator maybe on our other list. I don't remember. But anyways,
I think we did. Yeah.
Regardless, it's a good movie, and we're definitely moving on from this. Everyone has Ninja Turtles.
Good discussion, though.
Yeah.
Good discussion.
Yeah, I mean, me and Caps have already talked about Terminator at least 450 times on this channel.
We've argued about this, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everyone has Ninja Turtles except me.
Yeah.
I don't think it's, in terms of action movies, there's very little action. I think it's a really good movie. I'm not saying it's not, but I would not count it on my action. Like, it's an action movie, but I wouldn't put it on my list. But it is favorites, so I don't care. I have Last Action Hero. Nobody else has Last Action Hero.
But the only reason why we have TMNT is not only is there good action, it's a really good story. So
yeah, but it's not. I don't get it. List of their favorite action movies, not which movie has your favorite story.
So what are you saying? That your list comprises of movies that have a shitty story, but
I tried to pick all the movies that I think are my most standout action movies.
Okay, when Ninja Turtles came out, I was the movie. I mean, I was 11 years old. Okay, and I was getting to that point where I was becoming a teenager, everything else. But I will admit, when I saw that movie, I walked out like someone could fucking fight me. I know fucking a ninja now. I'm a ninja, and it's because that action and everything about it made me excited because I got to see what I saw at home live action. So it definitely does make a nostalgia for me. Like everyone else may put it lower on the list because I understand it's not really that much action. I agree. For me, it's definitely nostalgia. I'm not saying it's better. That's the reason
but you're allowed to have it on your list. My point was the reason why I don't have it.
I'm just telling you why.
I want to know why nobody has any Steven Seagal movies on their list.
We know why no one has any.
You know what? Like I'm gonna be honest. Like I've watched a few Steven Seagal movies lately, and he just rubs me the wrong way now. I'm sorry. He just.
But like
bugs
when
me
you
now.
really know what kind of human being he is, it doesn't help.
Yeah, like I do have Under Siege as my,
Honorable.
I've been honorable. Yeah,
mentions,
I can take that out. Actually, I
Whereas
gotta go
like,
through my.
that's why I
like-
put out for justice. The line, I'm gonna keep coming back until somebody remembers seeing Richie.
Like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It just bugs me now. But going back to what Puttyman was talking about, TMNT, when I left the theater, I said to myself, that was a really, really good movie. I never said to myself I want to fight somebody, but
Well, no,
I just
No, but it was something.
It was really, really cool.
It was groundbreaking at the time because we've never seen something like a cartoon or anything being brought. Maybe Masters of the Universe, but I wouldn't count that.
That doesn't count now.
But like, you know what I mean? Like that was true, I guess, to the comic book. Or to the television, the cartoon.
They used the
series.
combination of both. It actually did,
and it had some dark elements to it. It had comedy to it. It had a great mixture of everything, and like the fact that they used animatronic suits and animatronic puppets instead of really bad CG, which they could have done, but no, they didn't. And I think that's what plays more to the fact why it was on my list as well, is because of the fact that this is something that you've taken from like cartoons and video games and comic books and being brought to the, like, if we didn't have Ninja Turtles, we wouldn't have the Marvel movies, we wouldn't have Batman, we wouldn't have any of these superhero movies or comic book movies or anything like that. That's my personal opinion.
Well, I want to jump on that too. Another thing that I want to say that a lot of people, because again, I've been addicted to the special features and behind the scenes in Ninja Turtles. One thing that made it groundbreaking is we already had things like the Dark Crystal Labyrinth that use animatronics and puppets and things of that nature. What made this one so great to me was that you literally had to have the animatronics and martial artists being involved with doing the stunts, with doing all that. There's so much that goes into this movie when it comes to special effects that are all non-CGI, that as a kid, you're sitting there going, oh my God, what did I just experience in a lifetime? And it's the same thing with Terminator 2. It did exactly that, but with CGI. You get what I'm saying? That's why both of these movies during those times did something groundbreaking that a lot of other movies can't say. And that's the reason why for me, I was like, these two did one thing. They both changed the landscape just like Star Wars did of movies.
I mean,
and if no one agrees with me, that's why
I'm going to allow it and I'll agree with it, but I feel like you're giving a lot of credit to Ninja Turtles and comparing it to Terminator 2.
That's why it was number 5. And
well, I'm also a big fan, so of course it's my list. I had to.
Yeah, exactly. You can have whatever you want on your list. I don't care. I got True Lies. That's a lot of action. Nobody has that, right?
I'm surprised nobody, like you said, nobody said The Crow. That was a huge movie.
I totally forgot about that. But The
I
Crow
don't
wasn't
think it
so
would've
much
made
in
my
action.
list. It probably
was like
an
honorable mention for me.
Yeah,
so
The Crow probably would have made a list of like underrated comic book movies or something for me.
Or suspense. I don't know about
it would
suspense,
actually
but
Spawn.
Yeah.
Spawn. No.
Yeah, that's actually my.
The less we talk about that, the better.
Did you put Spawn in your honorable mentions?
I'm not gonna lie, I did, and you know
that's why my brother doesn't like your honorable mentions anymore.
Okay, so here's the reason. The only reason I put in there is there was bad CGI. It wasn't rated R, but the reason is because it is an action movie. There were scenes like when he comes down into the cathedral with the guns, little things like that made it good. But of course, it's low on my honorable mentions. I'm not saying it's like a huge thing, but it's a comic book movie I loved. But that's the reason The Crow, Blade are on my actual list. This was just one that I put on there low on the list. I've got other ones on here that I know people are going to agree with, but I like the action.
Okay,
so I got a question for all you guys. Like, just a number. How many honorable mentions do you guys have?
Like 97.
I don't know about 97, but
I have like 12,
at least got
13.
20, 25.
I got about like 25 too.
This is what I want to do. So we're gonna run out of time eventually. So we're gonna have to get to the point where for honorable mentions, which are just other movies you want to yell out, we're just gonna give an entire list. But just for actual honorable mentions, I'm gonna go through the same order that you were in. And you can tell me the five movies that were closest to making your list. And if you have to think about it, then you don't get any more than how many you said. So
perfect. I can't.
Okay, I'll go first. I'll just so you guys have time to look at your list. So I put mine in that order on purpose. I have a tie between Jurassic Park 1 and 2. I have Blade. I have GoldenEye. I have Demolition Man, and I have The Mummy.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that too because The Mummy's on mine. I have The Rock, I have Men in Black, I have Face Off, and I have Judge Dredd. Not to
okay. Oh, I guess it's
something different. Yeah.
my tops were Mortal Kombat, Jurassic Park, Independence Day, The Fifth Element, and then Rush Hour.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of ones that you guys haven't said, so that's why. So
Well, you
I'll,
can say them any ones. I don't really.
no,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I want it to be like,
Yeah.
a lot of variety. So I don't think I heard Total Recall.
That's
That
on
was
my
on
honorable
my
mentions.
number 5.
Yeah,
Speed,
that's on my honorable mentions.
Point Blank.
You
Point-
said speed
Point
on your
Break.
actual list.
Yeah, Speed was on your list.
Did I? Oh shit!
Yep.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, this is like I was just writing down everything. Mission Impossible, Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. Yeah.
Man, X-Men,
Oh, okay. I'll take X-Men.
Desperado.
Desperado. There you go. That's a good one. That's on
there's
my
one.
honorable mentions. One of my 97.
The second
Robin
and
Hood,
third,
Prince of Thieves.
second and third Batman. Yeah, man.
Three.
Enemy of the States.
Braveheart.
Did anybody say Face Off?
It's just,
Yeah, I said
No.
Face Off in my
Did you?
honorables.
yeah.
Yeah.
What about Hard Target?
Dusk Till Dawn. Twister.
Twister. Okay. Okay, here, I'm just going to name Jackie Chan movies because I put them all in order, too, because I had nothing better to do with my life.
Last Boy Scout.
Mr. Nice Guy. Gorgeous. First Strike. Super Cop 1 and 2. Jet Li. Fist of Legend. The Enforcer.
Power Rangers
The
movie.
Legend. The Replacement Killers.
Star Wars Episode 1.
Oh, I got the child getting fat. Total Recall, Bad Boys, The Mummy, The Rock, Face Off, Con Air, Speed, Point Break. I put Speed like 4 times on this list. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Starship Troopers. Did anyone say that?
Yeah, that was tied with my number 4 with Demolition Man.
Demolition Man is an underrated movie. Can we just
It's
talk?
it is a very good
It's
movie.
not like a great movie.
It's a
but like
fun action
It's
movie.
one of the most fun action movies that ever existed.
Was that the introduction of Wesley Snipes?
No.
No.
No, but it was one of his better roles.
Well, I got a few here. Passenger 57. And then I don't remember where I put the other ones, but they're on here somewhere.
Was it The Art of War? Didn't he do something?
Yeah, but I think that was in 2001.
Yeah.
He has a few really like big ones. He has that one with Sean Connery. I don't remember what that's called. Die Hard with a Vengeance. Nobody said that.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one. The Jackal, The Last Boy Scout. The Last Boy Scout is super underrated. I know we said it like 8 times already today.
Yeah.
But The Fugitive, Nick Caps had. Tombstone.
Hunt for Red October.
Hunt for Red October. Okay.
Would you really consider Hunt for Red October to be an
It has some things
action
in it.
film?
I mean, since we're on the terms of just has some things in it, Ninja Turtles.
I just remember there being a gunfight like at
So-
the end, but that was pretty much.
So what about Manchurian Candidate? Would that be considered?
I
action?
don't remember Manchurian. Are you talking? You're talking about the obviously
one with
Denzel Washington. One.
Yeah, the one with Denzel Washington.
I
Wasn't
don't
that later?
remember
Wasn't that 2000s?
That's what I was wondering. I can't remember. I thought
I
it was
don't
like
remember.
late 90s. I don't remember.
Just like
Did we mention any Van Damme?
no, we did
I
not.
said
Someone said Hard
Target.
Target.
I said
Double
Reinhardt.
Impact.
Sudden Death.
Yeah, I was a big fan of his, but and I also put on here because I know you guys are gonna kill me, but I just loved seeing him do the kick. I put Street Fighter too, but it's so horrible.
Yeah.
Fighter too.
Eraser.
Hey, I have, like I said, I have Power Rangers movie on my honorable mention.
Can't help it. It's even though these movies are horrible. When I was a kid, I was so excited to walk
I made
in the
this
theaters.
list way too long. Like The Shadow, Dark Man.
Oh man, I forgot
Dark
Darkman. I love Darkman. Oh wait, we just wait, was the Shadow the one with no? What was the one where he wearing the pink outfit we were talking about in one of the other videos?
No, you're thinking. Are you thinking Billy Zane, the Phantom?
The Phantom.
Yes, the Phantom. That's it. Yeah, I remember. I actually went back. I would have heard those coming out, and then I was reading Wizard magazine. I'm like, wait, this is based off a comic strip. And I looked it up, and I found out my local comic strip actually had some like where I could read it. So I was literally reading the old Phantom comics at the library because I knew the movie was coming out. So yeah.
They're gonna do a Hagar the Horrible movie next.
Yeah, right. I'll give me Foxtrot any day.
Just do a Shadow movie. Good.
Yeah, the
I
Shadow.
agree.
Independence Day. No one said that.
Putty did
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you
My
did.
honorable mentions. Yep.
This is too many movies. We don't even remember
Yeah.
what the hell we were talking about.
Right?
Iron Monkey.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Did we
I
mention
think about
Dusk
that.
Till Dawn?
No, I don't
consider-
think so.
That's kind of mixed in horror. That's going back to the Terminator thing, like a
Yeah.
horror.
But I mean, if it has
Action.
action, you can have it on an action movie list. My argument about Terminator 2 was it's the most purest of all action movies that exist.
Give me
And-
crap about Heat.
yeah, but Heat is like 90% talking and then like a little bit of action. There's a
It's an
lot of
action film.
action. There's a lot of action in Dusk Till Dawn.
I consider Heat and Fun for Red October to kind of be like sort of the same.
So then you can have both, man.
There you
Mask
go.
of Zorro. Long
God,
Kiss
you just-
Goodnight. No one had that. Ronin.
Oh
no one
my
had
God.
Ronin.
I was going to say Ronin.
Ronan.
La Femme Nikita, The Professional.
Oh, The Professional. First time we actually got to see I forgot her name now.
That's Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. Thank you. Thank you for
Soldier
filling names.
with Kurt Russell.
What about
Universal
Universal?
Soldier.
Universal Soldier.
Yeah.
But part 2 with
Goldberg.
Goldberg.
Broken Arrow.
There's so
Oh, that
many.
was the Travolta Christian
Yeah.
Slater one, right?
Yeah.
And you guys heard me say Face. Oh yeah, you guys did hear me
Yeah,
say
Face Off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of good movies. We're clearly at the end of this line here.
Yeah.
And you know, if I just give me your list again, because I don't even remember your list.
Okay,
Give me your list.
All right, number 5, Rumble in the Bronx and Cats with Con Air. Number 4, The Boondock Saints and Fifth Element. Number 3, Blade. Number 2, The Crow, and then number 1, Cap, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
For me, number 5, Die Hard 2 and Speed. Number 4, Heat. Number 3, Fugitive. Number 2, TMNT. And number 1, not Terminator 2, but Matrix.
I mean, The Matrix is a good choice. So
Yeah,
It is-
right.
It's still a very good choice.
Have you
my
guys
number-
seen sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
No,
we
my
did
number
a whole
5 was
video.
We did a whole
was
video on it.
Right.
It just got
Was
posted.
TMNT, Out for Justice, and Total Recall. Number 4 was Demolition Man and Starship Troopers. Once again, we didn't talk about enough about that one. Highly underrated film. Number 3 is The Fifth Element. Number 2 is The Matrix, and number 1 is T2.
You know what? NPH Neil Poonhandler deserves more credit. All right.
And Rue McLennan was in that movie too, from the Golden Girls.
Really?
Yeah, she was the teacher, the blind teacher.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, frig. Okay, I got my number 5, Caps, The Last Action Hero, and The Fifth Element. My number 4 is Campo, Rumble in the Bronx, Who Am I, Operation Condor. Number 3, The Matrix and True Lies. Number 2, Hard Boiled. Number 1, Terminator 2. Hard Boiled is like, honestly, the reason that John Wick exists is because of Hard Boiled. Hard Boiled does it even better than John Wick, and nobody
because
ever
of
watches
Matrix.
this movie.
I thought it was because of Matrix.
That what?
That John Wick exists.
Why would John Wick exist because of the Matrix?
Because he looks
Keanu
like
Reeves.
So why would then Point Break is the reason that the Matrix exists?
Yeah, well, no, why wouldn't we actually just say Bill and Ted's is the reason Matrix
Yeah.
exists? Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Paula Abdul music video is the reason the Matrix.
Actually, a movie of Arnold Schwarzenegger working out with girls smoking weed is the reason that Terminator exists.
So,
So,
so I was gonna ask you guys, did you guys actually see the new trailer?
yeah.
We
Yeah.
did a whole video. We did a whole video
Okay.
talking about it.
All right. People leaving comments, can you give these guys crap for not letting me know? But thanks.
People in the comments, can you let Nick know that Nick said that he couldn't make it yesterday? All right. He's like, what? Oh, okay. Anyways,
Be excellent to each other.
just thank you
And
for
party
watching.
on, dudes.
And
End this video because I'm looking at the chat and I don't see
Oh,
anything
yeah. No one cares. Bye.